It's Sickle. On news evening, 7 days after attack, events releasation to death of Pakistan task force in Rumor Gunaway cases by supporters attacked. Conspiracy protected in Yarin National Assembly Representative Refugees George Sekibor cautious interfering in section of 10th National Assembly. On the foreign scene, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan of Turkey launches bid to stay in power. I am Kalada Kurubatabu. Good evening. Remember, peace a path to the prosperity of a nation, so let peace reign. A woman simply identified as ID as her house on fire after she was reportedly beaten by her husband, Felix Chuku. An eyewitness said the incident occurred today at Royal Access for Target. The detachment of the building, which was destroyed fire, belongs to the husband. He explained that the situation has not rendered him homeless.
The guy and his wife gets more issue. The guy can't be the woman. Come o'clock, come up, tell calling house. So uncle outside, come back, you know, make the boy uncle for house. So I laid burn down all these houses. So now tenants beside them, burn all those and even the dinner.
The minister have apprehended the woman. The police in British State have visited the morgue where the body of the taxi driver who died after an altercation with an official of the River State Task Force at Rumo Kobiakpo. The Executive Director of Human Rights, Social Development and Environmental Mission, Justine Ma, who revealed this correspondent, said petitions taped up on the matter.
We are law-abiding citizens. We don't want to take it to our hand. So that we write to the governor concerning the activities of his task force. The task force is popularly known and called task force, and it's not a hidden issue how brutal and how lawless that particular task force have been. But we have been waiting as a law-abiding, reaching to the governor. Up to now, he have not responded to us. The only thing we have is an acknowledgement letter with the government, but up to now, he haven't responded or done anything.
Mr. The state government continues to ignore their letter.
Consulting and all this of the law is different from the issue of fundamental rights, because the young man is lying. They have a right to life. They have a fundamental right to live, and any person breaches that right. So the family have a right to seek for redress or seek for damages to be paid to them in respect to that.
As you may know, Mr. Simon Iwarulam, who was a taxi driver at Vumokoro axis of Obiakpo local government area of River State, died after an altercation with an official of the River State Task Force on the 12th of March 2023. A right activist, Charles Jaja, says it is unfortunate that it took the intervention of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Alkali Baba, for the River State Police Command to arrest officers who assaulted a man in Emoa axis of the East-West Road. Mr. Jaja, in an interview with correspondent Mikal Tuka, said if not for the intervention of the IGP, the police officers wouldn't have been arrested. He described the assault by the police officers as one too many in River State.
I think that the action of these two police officers is one that ought to be condemned by any well-meaning citizen. A situation where a police officer will openly and brazenly assault a man in the public in the very presence of his wife, while his colleague harasses and intimidates the wife as well, calls for a severe punishment for both police officers. If the IG have not acted, I think perhaps we wouldn't have gotten anything out of this matter. A situation where something happened in River State and they have to take the intervention of Abuja for it to be brought to the attention of the police commissioner in the state. It simply shows you that policing in River State has gone to comatose, that something is wrong somewhere. And I want to appeal to the commissioner of police to put his eye down and ensure that what he came here to do should be done properly.
Meanwhile, the three police officers caught in the viral video assaulting a civilian have reported to the force headquarters in Abuja. Force spokesperson Olumuyiwa Adejobi, who disclosed this to our correspondent today, said the names of the officers are Inspector Adejo Siaka, Inspector Friday Obaka, and Sergeant Indiwa Pebari. As you may know, the officers were seen in a video that has since gone viral assaulting a man in Emoa local government area of River State. The Ondo State Police Command has arrested two suspects for allegedly involving in lynching a suspected internet fraudster, Tokpe Olorunfemi, to death in Akure. The mob also set Tokpe's car ablaze. The late Tokpe was killed by a mob in the Ijoka area of the city due to reckless driving. River State Governor Nyesom Wike says the face-off between the PDP and the APC in the state is nothing abnormal. Speaking during the media chat today, Governor Wike said the PDP was simply being on alert to avoid a recurrence of an incident that occurred after the 2015 elections.
Can't have two markets at the same time. So all these things you are hearing that the APC is shouting, because they know that game they played last time We will not allow it to happen again. You had heard that police arrested some lawyers in the hotel. That's not
Gatu and Kana and Gokana federal constituencies in Brevis State will be held this Saturday, April 15, 2023 by 8:30 a.m. In a statement today, the Resident Electoral Commissioner Johnson Sinikem called on all registered voters in the affected registration areas and polling units to come out en masse to cast their votes and conduct themselves peacefully. The National Assembly section of the Rivers State Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Port Harcourt has begun entertaining motions. The three-man panel today ruled in favor of some candidates and political parties that filed application for motion ex parte to inspect election materials used for the February 25 and March 18 general election. The tribunal also granted a request by the Rivers South East senatorial candidate for Alliance People's Movement, Philip Saro Tamle, for substituted service on PDP Senator-elect Barinada Impigi. The panel also granted the request by the Alliance People's Movement APN House of Representatives candidate for Ikore Emwa constituency, Wani Afronelli, to serve the PDP member-elect for Ikore Emwa Federal Constituency, Boniface Emerengwa, through a substituted service. Correspondent Emeka Otka reports that the substituted service will also be posted on the notice board of the tribunal. Meanwhile, lawyer to the Alliance People's Movement APN candidate, Innocent Ekwe, spoke to our correspondent.
Yes, all other respondents has been served. INEC has been served. The PDP has been served. But the affidavit of non-service we got from the tribunal is that the first respondent is evading service, and they have found it difficult to reach him after some attempts. And so that is for the House of Representative candidate. It is Boniface Emerengwa. Then for senatorial election petition, it is Barinada Mpigi. Court has ordered that the originating processes be served by subset means to wait by pasting same on the notice board of the tribunal, which is a valid service, and thereafter hearing will commence.
The senator representing Rivers East Senatorial District at the National Assembly, Senator Josh Sekebo, says the presidency should not interfere in the selection process of principal leaders of the 10th National Assembly. Senator Sekebo, who said this while speaking with correspondent Gachimusu, said any interference from the presidency may not widely be accepted.
The test should be and not to be decided by the presidency. They should allow the legislators to choose who they want to be there. Whether it's from the north, it's from the south, it's from the east, it's from the west. That is the right thing to do. But because we have made a mindset that it must go to certain zones, because of certain zones where the president and the vice presidents are coming from. Well, if that is the issue, they can eliminate those zones, southwest, in the northeast, and then allow any of the other zones to produce the presiding officers.
The federal lawmaker, however, did not rule out the possibility of minority parties producing the leadership of the 10th National Assembly.
Every minority party would like to weigh the options. You will recall, in the 8th Assembly, for instance, the PDP if the North to Bukola Saraki. So this time too, it may likely be the same. Either the entire minority will come together and agree and negotiate among those who are trying to justly for the position and see where they may have a better bargain. So it's a possibility that the minority can even come together and support one candidate and make him either the Speaker or the President of the Senate.
To other news, some civil servants in River State are expressing worry over the poor logistics arrangement at the ongoing verification exercise. Some of them who spoke to our correspondent said a comfortable place ought to have been provided for those awaiting their turn.
The procedure for the promotion, they are not doing it accordingly. I'm from River State Hospital Management Board. Up to now, we have not been called. I didn't feel fine over it because there is no comfort.
Ideally, some provision should be made for the elderly, but then I guess apparently they didn't put that into consideration.
As a place of interview, they are supposed to make provision for chairs. They are supposed to organize in such a way that this group are coming, this is where this group they will sit, like that.
For my own particular parastatal, River State Primary Health Care Management Board, apparently our names are not on the list for the interview to date. So they are talking about rescheduling the exercise for us. So far, they've not given us an update about it. I think it's going smoothly for those that are on the schedule.
If this rain fall now, we don't know where we'll run into. The arrangement is very poor. My number is 200 and something, and you've not even started with us.
As you may know, River State Civil Service Commission last Monday started the verification exercise for the promotion of civil servants in the state. Still ahead, former zonal chairman of Nupeng, Godwin Aruba, expresses dissatisfaction with planned removal of fuel subsidy. Stay tuned as we go for a quick break.
You are tuned in to
Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
Former zonal chairman of Nupeng, Godwin Aruba, says he is not satisfied with plans put in place by the federal government ahead of the planned removal of fuel subsidy in June. Speaking with correspondent Ibu Ruwari, Mr. Aruba said the national leadership of NLC has urged the government to fix the refineries in the country or rescind the decisions.
There's no preparation, obviously, because what is on ground does not show any sign of preparedness. The refinery that they say that rehabilitating is still far from being completed. From information that I gathered, it's even the small refinery that they're working on, not even the bigger one in Port Harcourt. I don't know the miracle they're going to perform, but Labour have already started notice that they should not dream of removing subsidy because of the ascendant hardship that is going to bring to Nigerians. And I think if they're sensible enough, they should not toy with that advice.
The Labour leader also spoke on the effects of removing fuel subsidy on workers.
Once you remove subsidy, the minimum you can buy petroleum product in Nigeria is about 500 naira a litre, and that will be official. So you can imagine what will happen to the living standard of Nigeria that is already impoverished. So there's no sense in thinking about it, except if they have to do what is necessary, and that is let the refineries in Nigeria be producing and also put in place for non refineries to also come on stream. That way, we are going to avoid all of these landing costs, freight costs, and all of those things that they have imputed in the imported products that make the product to be so high.
On his part, another stakeholder in the oil and gas industry, Fine-Face Dunam, said the effects of the fuel subsidy removal can be reduced if the federal government allows the establishment of modular refineries.
Is to try as much as they can to give modular refinery licenses for those who are ready to go into the modular refinery business. They can be able to produce and then mitigate some of the impacts of the subsidy that will be removed. I know quite well that since 2017 that the federal government promised to give modular refinery licenses to youths who are involved in artisanal crude oil refining, have been pushing. The government is yet to do so, and I think that if they do that, it will go a long way to help mitigate the impacts of the subsidy that will be removed on petroleum products in the country.
Actress Millie Bobby Brown has announced she is engaged to Jake Bonkiovi, a boyfriend of 2.5 years. 20-year-old Bonkiovi is an actor and the son of legendary singer John Bon Jovi. In sports, the Super Falcons will head into today's international friendly encounter with New Zealand, looking to record their third successive win in 2023. The game will be the Falcons' last pre-World Cup friendly, barring any last-minute arrangement before the Women's World Cup billed to hold in New Zealand and Australia, which will start from July 20 and end in August 20.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has launched his ruling party's bid to stay in power as he seeks to extend his leadership of Turkey beyond 20 years. He is facing his stiffest challenge yet from 6 opposition parties who have combined forces for presidential and parliamentary elections on 14th May. On the news this evening, you heard a woman has set her house ablaze after fight with husband in Port Harcourt. Human rights group in Beverage State has confirmed that the police has begun an investigation into the death of a taxi driver killed during an altercation with a task force official in Rumokoro. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has played down the impact of the protest by PDP supporters in Port Harcourt. Elections petition tribunal in Port Harcourt has begun hearing motions on national senators. The representative Rivers State Ojekebo has cautioned against interfering in the scene of leadership of 10th National Assembly. On the foreign scene, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan of Turkey has launched a bid to stay in power. The news was a Kachiwosu. Partly cloudy weather. I could see my piece of the path to the definition to let rain. I am Kalada Katabo. Good evening.